All right, so we'll start now the Mamer. Toiv lachsis b'Hashem mibtoich ba'odom. This is the sixth Mamer in the Torah in Shemini Atzeres, Nemorim, in the end of the Parshas Dvorim for Shemini Atzeres. All right. So the Mamer begins Toiv lachsis b'Hashem mibtoich ba'odom. That it's better to take cover or trust Hashem than trusting in a person. So the language of the pasuk is that it's better to trust Hashem than trusting a person. That would seem to imply that really it's also okay to trust a person, but it's better to trust in Hashem. So the Alter Rebbe asked, "Lahavin mahu toiv." So we have to understand what is the meaning. It says toiv. Toiv, it's good. Mahu toiv. The mashma, because that seems to imply shegan ba'odom rashoy liftoyach, that also a person is permitted to trust also in a person. Elo sheyoser toiv, but it's better liftoyach b'Hashem, to trust in Hashem. The question is, but the pasuk says, "Al tiftechu b'nedivim b'verodom chulu." Don't trust a person, a human being, benodom. So why do we say it's better to trust Hashem than a person? You're not allowed to trust a person altogether. Not only it's better to trust in Hashem. The Gam, and also Lahavin, to understand the Gabi HaKadosh Baruch Hu ksiv lachasois. When we talk about Hashem, it says lachasois means to take cover. Toiv lachasois b'Hashem. The Gabi Odom, and by the person it says mibitoyach, from trusting. So why is there a shinui, a change in the language? The ba'odom ksiv b'komatz tachas habeis. By an odom, it says to mibtoyach ba'odom. The beis has a kometz, not be'odom, not with a shiva be'odom. To kometz tachas habeis. When we say a kometz tachas habeis, it's b'mikoyim hey hayidua. That takes the place of when we say ha'odom. If it would have said hayidua, that would mean the known man, ha'odom, the man. And here it says bo takes the place of that hey. Kloimar ba'odom hayidua. So who is this odom hayidua? To say, who is this Odom HaYidua? Who b'chinas Odom HaElyon? So we're talking is, Odom means Odom HaElyon, in the Supreme Man. Who's the Supreme Man? It says in the pasuk, Ba'al demus hakisei chulu. The demus kimare Odom. Over there it says, on the image on the throne was the image of a person. So when we say here, mibetoyach ba'odom means ba'odom ha'elyon. Umibetoyach umiloshin v'toches habayis. Mibetoyach comes from the language. The pasuk says v'toches habayis. He should plaster the home. So shuloshin ticho, which is a language of plastering, ticho v'dibuk. Connecting, to plaster and to connect. Say that this level is connected in his inner, in the inside. So the loshen b'betoich means your inside is plastered with that connection that you have, the betoyach ba'odom plastered with the connection to the odom. That is the meaning of mi betoyach. What is v'lachasois? Lachasois hu shechoyse b'tzeil u'makiv shomil ma'il. Lachasois means he takes cover, choyse, that he covers himself b'tzeil u'makiv shomil ma'il, in the shade and the surrounding that comes from above. Zehu, and this is the meaning of Tov Lachsis. It's better to take cover. Bechinas Makif, in a way of Makif, Tov Lachsis Makif. So Bechinas Havaye Yoiser, the better to be Lachsis Bahavaye, the Makif that comes from the level of Havaye, more Yoiser Bechinas Ashros Pnimis. So Bechinas Odom Ha'elinchu, more than the inner resting into the inner of the person, the Odom Ha'elyon. The Makif of Shem Havaya is better than the Pnimius of the Odom Ha'elyon. What's in the first word of the parenthesis is an aleph or an ayin? Ayin. Ayin. So this is ayin beidra, the Nosei Daf Kuf Lamed Tes Amud Beis. So over there in the Idra, the section of the Zohar called the Idra, in Nosei Kuf Lamed Beis, it says the Bechol Asar the Itkar Odom Hachol Itkar Elo Shmakadish Chulu, that in any place that it's mentioned Odom, so it's only mentioned in his holy name. So what does that mean? The Isa Shom B'Hapirushim, and we find it in the Pirushim, the Tov Lachseis B'Havaya, when we talk about taking cover B'Havaya, Hainu HaOras Arich Ampin, that is a shine from the level of Arich Ampin. Mi B'Toyach Ba'odom Shu B'Chinas Zo, Ein Shom B'Sefer Rush David. So better to be in the cover of Havaya, which is the Arich Ampin, than Odom Shu B'Chinas Zo, Ein Shom B'Sefer Ruach David. L'Havid B'Yurzeh B'Avodas Hashem. So to understand the explanation in the service of Hashem. Mahu B'Chinas Odom Ha'elyon. What is the level of Odom Ha'elyon? What is the supreme man in Avodas Hashem? Huki Hina Yesh. He's going to explain this in Avodas Hashem. Huki Hina Yesh. There's various kinds of meditations, reflections, so that it enters inside the heart, amongst the man, and deep in the heart. Halev mispoil u'mislait. Alpha became. So even still, still from this he does not change from his essence. In other words, he gets it in his heart, but he doesn't change him. The love gets stuck in his heart, the place where it is there, but it doesn't change the person around. Ki halev hu klei kibul La'avazu kasha yichol says, because the heart is a receptacle, is a vessel to receive that level to the extent that it can tolerate. Because yichol says, so that's one is burners. Yes, is burnenu shilamayla basogas moicha binosei. But there is a meditation which is beyond, which is higher than the mind and the understanding of the person. V'halev cotton mehochil his beinanazu. The heart is too small from being able to contain that level of reflection. She'ilu hoya magia ad halev. Had this reached till the heart, hoya kolo she'erer ulevavi v'klois hanefesh, then he would have expired his body and his soul in the expiration of the soul. He would not be able to handle it. It's a too much, not being able, too strong and higher than his understanding, and he cannot contain it. But yes, so this is something which at least he can get. It's beyond his understanding, is beyond his understanding. So it's not beyond his understanding, it's beyond his heart. It's lemailo behasogas moich. In other words, his mind gets it, but it cannot come down, it cannot influence, it cannot impact the soul. And there's a higher level that doesn't even come to the mind. Yesh ashergam moichil loisova loisovachol. There's also when the mind is not able to even to tolerate it. Not only not the heart, but also not the mind. This is the idea when you do the Amida, you do it silently, in quiet, whispering. That represents the subjugation, the nullification of the soul in a level more than the soul can tolerate. I'm Ashikosu Seidu Ramaschil Yehuda Ato also the Seidu Ramaschil Hashamayim Kisi Ba'ayin Mashikosu B'Dibur Ramaschil Eleb Kudei Ub'Dibur Ramaschil Simani Kichesem and the Mamer Simani Kichesem. All right, so we have these three ahavas that we're discussing over here. Hine, his bonus, the corners below ish. So this bonus that enters into the heart of man, that the heart becomes a vessel for it to rest in it. That reflection, hu nikra b'chinas odom. That is called the level of Odom. What is the level of Odom? That's Baal Seichel, Umidas Chul. I mean, it has intellect and emotion. It's fully capable. When we talk about the level of Havaya, that's a level which you cannot tolerate. This is beyond what the Nefesh can tolerate. That's called Havaya. Odom is the level that the person is able to tolerate the intellect and the emotions. And the level of Havaya is higher than the Odom. Efsher, when the reflection is in the level of Mimalikul Almin, so then Nikra Odom, then we call you an Odom. That type of reflection is called an Odom. Shenkein Bechinas Soivukul Almin, when the reflection is Bechinas Havaya, that is the level of Havaya. So if the reflection is in the Malakul Almin, that's an Odom. If it's in Soivukul Almin, it's Havaya. I am Ashikosu B'Divra Maschil V'Yadata Hayayim. The Indian Das V'Emuna, this was with the idea of Das V'Emuna, Cool. You can also say Shazahu Inyan Moichin the Tefillin Shel Yad, with Moichin the Tefillin Shel Rosh, the Moichin of Shel Yad and the Moichin of the Shel Rosh, the two levels of Odom and Havaya, Shel Yad being Odom and the Shel Rosh being Havaya, which is in the higher Madrega. Zahu, and this is the meaning of Tov Lachseis Bahashem, Bahavai, Tov Lachseis Bahavai. That it's better to Lachseis Bahavai, which means Hagam Sheyiye B'chinas Makif, B'chinas Havaya, even though it's only going to be on a level of Makif, from the level of Havaya, V'lo Yuchal Likones B'gilu Haleiv, and it cannot enter openly into the revealed in the heart. It's higher. It's from Havaya. It's still better than being covered under the level of Odom. What's the reason? It says the fish kol goyim svavuni, because all goyim surround him. What does it mean? Sheyesh b'chinas goyim. There is the level of goyim. What is the meaning goyim? Goyim is the body. They are from the body and the animal soul from the klibas noiga. They are the one that surround and dress up the soul. They are the one that trouble the person and make strange thoughts fall into a filu. Even in the middle of the davening. Because they nurture these chitzonim, the body and the soul, and the nefesh habahamis, they keep on disturbing the person by giving him the strange thoughts, even in the davening, because those bad thoughts come from the tzuruf oishis hadibur, from the combination of the letters of dibur bein tziruf l'tziruf. In between every combination of words, shu b'chinas mokum cholov, it becomes a space. When you speak, you say one sentence, one word, and another word. In between those words, that's where they get a hold. Sham yuchlu linek v'lechas ba'odam. Over there, they're able to nurture and hold on to the person. Lahapil boi machshaves chutz, to throw into the person outside thoughts. V'chein hamides shebeguf v'nefesh habahamis, and also the character traits of the body and the animal soul. They are malbishim bidois hanefesh alikis. They dress up the nefesh alikus, the godly soul. So, which means that it goes through them, the connection. The godly soul dresses up in the nefesh habahamis. Sha'ava sheb'nefesh alikis imusuteres umulubesh ves beguv nefesh habahamis. So that the hidden godly love is hidden and dressed up in the body, the animal soul. And v'lochein, and therefore, so because of all these issues, because of the machshava zores that comes from the nikah, from the chitzonim, and the body, your avos of Hashem from the nefesh alikis is dressed up in the guf and nefesh habahamis. Therefore, even though that he wakes up, he arouses love to Hashem when he davens. The kerev ish believe omek, amongst the person, and it's deep in his heart. Kasher tuchal nafashois eis, to the extent that he can tolerate. So what remains after the davening? Only a mark left over, but it's not Avol ha'izbarnu shel ma'ila ma'ila b'chdei shetuchla nefesh ha'eis. But when there is a meditation, a reflection to the higher level, more than the soul can tolerate, ubitlu hasogas hanefesh, and that means the bitl, when the soul grasps. In other words, it's non-grasping. It's a negation of the grasping of the person, because it's not able to really get it because it's too high. So so even though it is a level of surrounding only above, but yet in a alzeksi b'shem havaya ki amilam. The pasuk continues there. It says, "Suvuni goyim rabbi." The pasuk says, "B'shem havaya ki amilam." So what does it mean? B'shem havaya ki amilam. With the name of Hashem, I will cut them down. Pirush amilam. What is the meaning of the word amilam? Yesh by base pirushim. There are two meanings in the word of amilam. Loshin kidisa. One of them is a language of cutting down. Ki amila means sort of to cut them down. Vahainu b'surmira. That's when we're talking about staying away from bad, mamash. When we talk about the actual staying away from real ra, which is shemisholish klipsat meis, which is from the three totally klippas. So there has to be cutting away. That's amila on one touch. The loshin mila, the other one is a language of mila. Mila is the hainu krisis ha'orlo ha'chifefes. That's cutting off the skin that hovers around. It's the level of the bris. The hainu. Those are the extras that Meklipas Nega. And the liyah, so the person should reach to the level of Kaddish Atzmacha b'mutalach, to sanctify yourself in what's extra. That's the level of Milah, level of Krisis. So one is to totally cut away, which is the level of Surmeda. Sholish Klibzat Meyas is Amilam, to totally get rid of, cut off. And then this language of circumcision, amilah, milah, from Lashon milah, that it is a removal of the skin that hovers around, that is the cutting away the extra, and that comes from Klippas Nega. So that you should be at the level of Kaddish Atzmacha b'mutalach, to make you sanctify yourself, even things that are prohibited to you. V'atam, ki b'chinas, the reason kibichinas hamakiv who shemakiv is seviv as a nefesh mikol tzad. Why do you have to cut it away? Those extra is because the makiv surrounds the soul from all sides. Commercial mi shetorud ma'od machshava achas. If a person who's preoccupied with one thought, shemaki. It surrounds him and it dresses him up very much, to the extent that he can never remove his mind from it at all, even when he's doing other things. He goes here and there, that thought does not leave him. A person who's preoccupied in one thought, and that thought takes up everything in his mouth, so it doesn't help. He walks here and there, he cannot get rid of that thought that occupies him all the time. And likewise is the makif l'maylo who nitzchi bal yimot elum. It surrounds the person eternally, it never moves away, it's always there. And therefore is even though they all surround me, but still that connection still remains. So that's the level of the Havaya. As opposed to when we talk about the level of Adam. See, over there, it's not always the same. It's not like the Makif, which is always on the surrounding the person. Over there, see, over there, the pasuk says, "Eis asher sholat ha'adam ba'adam." Is a time that the one Adam dominates the other Adam. What does that mean? The pasuk says, "Sheyesh shlito u'ma'ushola chaz v'sholem la'adam achad." There is, God forbid, a dominance to the other Adam shemiklipa that comes from the klipa. Hagam shehu leraloi la'achar zman. That's a continuation of the pasuk. Adam ba'adam leraloi. So even though it's for his detriment for the person, and still he has that level of shalita after in a time of it. So therefore, the name, by when we talk about Havaya, the level of Maki, that's always surrounding the person. Mashenkin, level of Adam, that's only sometimes you can have a dominance of the Adam that comes from the Klippa over the Adam over his Komakim. So while this is true that it's not that it's Toiv Lachsis Bashem, you still need also the level of Adam. Because the main thing is that you need to have Havaya should become Li. Havaya Li. Havaya Li, that Havaya should come down to Li, not to leave it in a level of Maki, behind the Bechinas Kalita canal, which is the level of absorbing. Shu Bechinas Adam. That is the level of Adam. So we need it to be in a Kalita. We need it to be an Adam as well, not just Havaya. Ki Zochar Unikeva Braun. Because the way Hashem created is a male and a female, Ve'ikra Shemam Adam. So basically, you need to have the madrega of klita, just like to absorb, like the seed from the man to the woman. You need the level of havaya, that makiv, that seed into the adam to become havaya li. What chol ha'ezrach b'Yisrael? Pirush b'toich Yisrael, chol ha'ezrach has to be b'Yisrael. Pirush b'toich Yisrael. That means inside of Yidden and in their inner chulukinal. Kimi shehu b'bchinas makiv milmaylo nikra b'bchinas tzel. That is called a tzel. If it's only from above, it's makiv. That's a shade. That's a level of tzel. Nikra b'bchinas tzel. That's called a level of a shade. V'loi oira, but that's not a level of light, not a revealed light. Like the pasuk says, Hashem tzilcha al yad yimenecha. Hashem is your sail, your shade by your right hand. Yom Hashem is le'akecha. So over there means hatzel shubechinas makiv hushmira machitzen. That the shade, which is in the level of makiv, is a protection from the outers. So that it provides that protection. But because we're surrounded by all goyim, called goyim savuni, and therefore toiv yoser laxis b'Hashem. That's why it's better to take cover by Hashem chulu. Because in that level is yoser toiv hamakif. So the makif becomes a better. In this level is toiv yoser laxis b'Hashem. When the level is called goyim savuni, that you have the challenges from savuni, then it's better to be in the protection of Hashem. Laxis b'Hashem in the Shem. So b'china zu yoser toiv hamakif. In this level, the makif is better. B'chinas Acheres, Yisur Tov, B'chinas Adam Kanal is better, the level of Adam. Okay, very good. We learned this Maimon, and move on. We have two Mamorim left now in Shemini Atzeres. Let me just close this down.